Oh, we have got to dive into this. This is exciting new stuff. So fresh off of the press, we have some new story elements, as well as character elements and things to do with the remake coming out from Tetsuya Nomura. Now, I thought I decided on my video today. I just recorded one about all of part 1 being Midgar. And in that I talk about Kitase doing most of the interviews. I talk about the black swirly things around Aerith and what they may be. And now immediately, before I've even uploaded it, we have stuff from Nomura and on the black swirlies. So I'm going to dive straight into it, guys. So this article's just come out on Gamatsu, and FF7 Remake Director Tetsuya Nomura confirms Honeybee in cross-dressing event, new events, dialogue options, and enemies. So I'm going to flow through this and what I'm speculating. God, I can't believe all of this stuff's coming out. It still feels surreal, guys. So starting with the black swirlies. They're also on the steel case around Sephiroth. I mentioned in my last video that Night Sky Prince said that there might be Sephiroth clones, because originally the concept of them were that they were going to be like flying black hooded McSwirlies, I think, McFlurries, I don't know. But now we know that they're actually called the Watchmen of Fate. Watchmen of Fate. And they are mysterious beings that appear before the party wherever they go. I hope that even those who have played the original game will enjoy these new elements. Oh, that's a quick speculation on this. Watchmen of Fate. So, I mean, Fate didn't tie that crazily heavily into the themes of 7. I mean, it way did more something like, say, 8. No, I suppose there are some elements there, especially with Aerith, you know, the duty as the Cetra that she has to fulfill, and there's a lot of instinct and intuition guiding Aerith, especially when she makes her way off to the ancient city, and some of the things that she pulls behind the scenes, maybe that's being brought to the forefront. And I say Aerith because, of course, we see that they're pestering her specifically in this trailer. So maybe they're just an entity or being that's designed to keep the wheels of fate in motion. Maybe they're from Gaia. I mean, although they're black and McSwirlies, they seem malevolent, but maybe not. Maybe there's some sort of Cetra ancestry. Or I don't know. Could be literally anything. Maybe it's like a planet defense instead of like the weapons. I don't know. Those are just speculations in my head. If anyone's got anything better, I would love to hear what you think the Watchmen of Fate could be in the comment section below. But I love this. I love that they're going for new stuff. I feel so much more excited to know. Oh, of course, there's a side to me that's a bit, oh no, changing 7, it's so beloved, oh my god, don't do anything. Of course, I've got that side, but I also have this really excited side. So, continuing on, there are quite a bit of dialogue options. We are making it so the dialogue changes depending on your response, so the sheer volume of the dialogue has increased. Oh my god, so this is just like a luxury that I was kind of semi-expecting, semi-not. That's awesome that we're actually going to be able to interact with the dialogue. Whether that's going to tie in mechanically like it used to in the game, like in terms of like dating mechanics, there was like an internal point system scoring up, depending on how you spoke to Aerith, Tifa, Yuffie, Barrett. Whether that leads to things like that again, that would be cool. But that's just a sheer luxury there. Now I see why Midgar is going to be such a big chunky section. Continuing on, the Honeybee Inn cross-dressing event. So, from the age of antiquity of the remake's announcement, people have been speculating about this. I hope it's all there, people have been saying, and that they don't change anything and Square Enix don't go politically correct. Well, they've made it more modern, so they've changed it. Because if we made the facility like we did in the original game, the physical unease would be staggering, they say. So that was no good. I'm going to quickly jump to one other part, a few bits below, just so I feel like this ties in with it, and that's on Tifa. So very quickly, we wanted Tifa to have abs. She's tight, so that she has an athletic body type. The ethics department at Square Enix, I can already hear and see the eyes rolling from some of you, told us that we had to tighten her chest as not to get unnatural during all the intense action. From there, we've got the black underwear and the fitted tank top. So those two cross together because, of course, some people are going to be saying that this is censoring, that this is... Tifa's been censored, she's been downgraded in her bustier, that they're going to be avoiding some of the really weird, just crazy themes in the Honeybee Inn. I've got to say that while I was one of the people who said, oh no, I hope they don't do these kind of things, I actually understand it, and there was actually an image that made me understand it, funnily enough. If I can find it, I'll put it up here, but someone kind of remade what it would look like with Cloud in the hot tub scene. A bit more realistic imagery with the big burly men and the hair and the grease and all that. When I first saw the picture, my immediate response, and it surprised me because I have a tolerance for just about anything. Even I was a bit like, ooh, that just feels awkward. It just feels awkward. It didn't feel funny like FF7 the original did. And that made me think about other scenes, really picturing them. And I know everyone's entitled to their opinion on this. Some people are going to want them to go full balls to the walls with all of this stuff. But for me personally, I've got to a stage now where, like Advent Children Tifa, she was modest, she was reduced. She wasn't as sexualized as what we all envision the 1997 version to be. But I still love it because her character still came through. She's still an aesthetically awesome, badass looking character. And I guess just Tifa's sexuality just isn't as huge a deal to me. Like, yeah, sure, she's hot. She's always been a hot video game character. We all know it. But some people, I feel, take it so far where they're like, unless she has got her knackers hanging out, like near automata, bobbly bob style, they've ruined the character for me. They've ruined it. Which makes me think that your connection with the character is very different to mine. But kudos to you if that's how it is. For me, I love Tifa for the character she is, for the personality she is. Oh my god, I sound like a white knight. I tip me a fedora to your Tifa lassie. Oh gosh. But yeah, just like even other scenes, like when I think about how that scene would really be, the whole Honeybee and like the guys, like they're stalking towards Cloud, the whole of them, because they're going to rape him, they're going to rape his butt. Like, that is what is happening. It's unconsensual. He's saying no, go away. And how would they even like walk like zombies like they do? Like, there was just satire that worked, that if they tried to replay it, would it work? Even like Don Corneo. Like, it was funny back in the day, but really picture like Aerith, beautiful Aerith. She's there in the dress, the red dress or the purple dress, purple silky smooth dress. No, that's Tifa, red, yeah. And she's there on the bed, and Don Corneo, some big, lump, greasy, fat of a man, is like there in just full AAA, like, you can see like the sweat and the skin, and he's just thrusting straight at her. Picture that. Is that funny anymore, or has that gone into uncomfortable to you? I don't know until I see it. I just don't know. And just bear in mind, not even just the image of it. I mean, he's saying stuff. Now imagine voice acted of, oh, I can't wait anymore. I can't wait. Oh, I'm coming for you. Oh, you. I can see that there's parts of the Honeybee Inn that would just be, that it would lose what it had when they were just polygon penals that were being thrust, and now they're actually creased, defined, real penals. So I don't know. It's happening. We'll see how it plays. I still want Square Enix to go boldly into those areas because it is sleazy. Like, it is supposed to, I suppose, even feel uncomfortable. It is sleazy. And that's just that part of that neighborhood. I want it to get that feel, but something that still borders. So I trust them to go for whatever creative direction they're going to go with it, but that's happening. Anyway, moving on. There are quite a few additions to the scenario. While the main story itself has not changed, there are countless numbers of new events. Countless numbers. So nothing in the main story itself has changed. That's huge, because I was really wondering whether they was going to go down some like different avenue. So all the frameworks in there, just countless number of new events. Hallelujah. Otherwise we wouldn't have 2 Blu-ray discs, he says, laughing, supposedly. This next one's quite interesting. Aerith and Tifa are double heroines. One has a Western style look and the other an Eastern style look. So it's interesting because the whole Clotey Clarith war, the whole battle of the Aerith fan camp against the Tifa one, now it's not even Aerith versus Tifa, now it's gone East versus West. And I mean, I know that Japan was saying they hated Aerith's model, and then I even saw when like Tifa revealed, I saw some people saying, oh, she looks too Asian to me. So I suppose it works both ways. To me, I think they both look great, and I like the that's what I'm interested with all of the characters, just to like see like interesting quirks in the ethnicities in their features. Like, what do people in like the northern region look like ethnically versus like Cosmo Canyon? Like, what does that tribe look like? So I love that. So they've gone for like an east and west thing with the love triangle. Woo! Okay, moving on. So this with an emphasis on immersion and exhilaration. You can really see the immersion from the trains with Nomura's Kingdom Hearts 3. That was a huge prevalent thing they put a lot of work into. And you can fight without stress through the use of shortcuts. When you open the command menu, time slows and you can fight like a command battle. Lovely, love it. So immersion, exhilaration and fights without stress. Seems like we're going to have a lot of options to work with. Don't really say much else on that one. Each playable character has different enemy affinities. Very similar to like what 10 had. 10 was huge in that regard. I also kind of want to see with FF7, because the original concept was like the job class elements were coming through. Like Tifa was a monk and Aerith was a white mage. And they had like this job class thought when they pick the characters and their different styles. Of course, I can imagine now like only like Barrett can like shoot certain targets, and you get it. Man, I need to check my sausages. I think they're burning. Right, no, they're all right. Dr. Suso, keep rubbing some cream on it for another 2 weeks. So each player character has different enemy affinities. Awesome. And an item is required for MP recovery. Ethers, I guess. I mean, I don't know why I felt the need to throw that out, but yeah, cool. For the sake of level design, we're preparing a few new enemies where necessary. So I know, with the whole first part being Midgar, which I'll release that video tomorrow now, if I do my Drinking Quest streams later. I'm going to talk more about that, about Midgar as a whole, and of course, even at the end of it, is the boss really going to be the final one of part 1? The boss that chases out of Midgar, like a very anticlimactic fight, and with it just so much bigger, there are going to have to be new bosses, and what they're going to have to flesh out. So even if part 1 is now having new enemies, as well as all the old, I really get now what Katase is saying when he goes on about the volume. The huge volume of work. Like FF7, the original, was big enough. Even that to be done in a trilogy-like format. I don't even know if it's going to be a trilogy anymore. Is it going to be more? Who knows? Because now we have boatloads of new dialogue and options of dialogue. We have new enemies. We have new areas. We have countless numbers of new events. So there we go, that is the latest news straight off the press. Just going through the comments. Yeah, tightening her chest. I'm going to the comments and immediately that's the first thing I'm seeing. Of course. Well done, Final Fantasy fans. I agree, the tightening the chest thing, it just looks like a sports bra. I mean, yeah, we don't want Tifa to be getting El Saggies by episode 3 in 2023. We want her to stay tight. And all I'm going to say is, once she's in some other outfits, oh boy, that is when we will get rewarded. It doesn't need to be on screen 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year, but I'm sure that when Tifa does shine, she will pop. So be patient, you pervy pricks. The last thing I want to mention, shush, it's only boobies, stop this nonsense. These comments, man. Oh wow, the ethics department, fire that entire team and do not effing replace them. Oh my god, I have such a huge issue with this. Ethics department, one absolute joke. Oh my, okay. People are sassier about this than I thought. Come on. But okay, I get it. This is going to be some people's opinion. This is all they're going to rant and rave about. I know I have done videos about this kind of censoring sensitivity culture. But I specifically done it in 15 when people were complaining that the whole cast being bros was misogynistic and sexist against women. That's when I got something to say. I get ethics department, you know, right now it's like a buzzword for everyone, and by all means I don't want to be the guy who denies this scene in full remake glory, but holy hell. Just can't believe there's some people who genuinely let it like kill their hype and the entire thing of the game. That's crazy to me. But the other thing that mentioned it kind of goes hand in hand with this is when Qatar said in a recent article, which I'll be covering tomorrow, he also said that a lot has changed since the original Final Fantasy VII. That's to do with a lot of the decisions they're making. They decided not to use a photorealistic approach with the design, but something instead a bit more stylized, honoring the artistic designs and choices of the original. Back then we didn't have access to things like voice acting, performance, motion capture, close-up cameras outside of cutscenes. But for the remake, there is a greater emphasis on all of these for character storytelling through the use of these techniques, as well as some other new tech which we're looking to roll out. This allows us to make these characters more expressive than ever, enhancing their levels of immersion and their enjoyment through performance. See, that's what I'm more excited for. That's what I want to be hearing. They're using all of these skills and they're really going all out and using new tech and going to that kind of level to bring new elements to these characters in ways we've never seen before. In terms of their personalities, in terms of the stories, in terms of how it looks, how it feels, how that within itself tells a story. That is so much more to be excited about than being overshadowed by how big Tifa's wackies are. But there we go, guys. Let me know what you think about this latest news in the comment section below. Keep the remake hype flowing and all aboard the train. There's a few seats next to me on first class. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Until then, goodbye!